The past can be a puzzle, and it's one to which we don't yet have all the pieces. It's possible that we never will. Some of the world's greatest minds have considered the artifacts you're about to see in this video, but they've been unable to solve all of their mysteries. Let's get started. We're starting in Ireland to check out the mystery of the Ogham stones. They're dotted all over the country and covered in what's thought to be an ancient alphabet that nobody's ever been able to translate fully. Some people refer to it as the Celtic tree alphabet. It's thought to date back to the 4th century, and its origins probably lay with an attempt by native Gaelic speakers to create a written form of their words. Archaeologists have identified 400 of the stones thus far, 360 in Ireland, and the rest distributed across the Isle of Man, Scotland, and Wales. The majority of them are believed to be either memorial stones or boundary markers. It's sometimes possible to translate at least part of the inscriptions with a working knowledge of ancient Gaelic, so we know that one of the more enigmatic stones is dedicated to he who was born of the raven, and another to the 3 sons of the bald one. The name tree alphabet comes from the fact that the letters are stylized like trees and even named after them, so letters would be called willow, alder, birch rather than ABC. As if that weren't hard enough to follow, the language is written in curves rather than straight lines. The Wald Newton horde, discovered in 2014 near Wald Newton in the East Riding of Yorkshire, England, is a significant archaeological find from the early 4th century, consisting of 1,857 Roman coins. Found by metal detectorist David Blakely, this collection is notable for being the largest Roman hoard of its type found in the north of England. Contained within a greyware pottery jar, the coins predominantly are nummi, with 1 radiate, dating between 268 and 307, revealing insights into the region's Roman-era economy and circulation. Following its discovery, the hoard was declared a treasure and subsequently acquired by the Yorkshire Museum after a successful fundraising campaign that amassed over £44,200, contributed by individuals and organizations globally. This collaborative effort underscores the community and international interest in preserving and showcasing historical artifacts. The Wald Newton hoard has been on public display since 1st of June 2017, offering both locals and visitors to the York Roman Festival an invaluable window into Yorkshire's Roman past. The Lion Gate of Hattusa, the ancient capital of the Hittites, stands as a remarkable example of the architectural and sculptural prowess of the Near East superpower around the early 14th century BCE. Flanked by 2 towering structures, this gate, notable for its massive, intricately carved lion statues, served both a practical purpose in controlling access to the city and a symbolic one in warding off evil spirits, as indicated by the fearsome depictions of the lions. The craftsmanship is particularly notable in the detailed carving of the lion's features and the sophisticated usage of the polygonal technique to fit the stones perfectly together without any gaps. This gate, integrated into the city's substantial fortifications, reflects the Hittites' strategic and artistic sensibilities, drawing parallels to similar structures found in Mycenaean Greece, such as the Lion Gate at Mycenae. Although time has eroded parts of the gate, especially the left lion, restoration efforts have enabled visitors to appreciate its historical significance and beauty. The combination of utility, protection, and art encapsulates the essence of Hittite architecture and symbolizes the city's power and cultural achievements. The combination lockbox attributed to Muhammad ibn Hamid al-Asturlabi al-Ishfani from the late 12th century is a fascinating blend of artistry and mechanical ingenuity. Crafted in either Khorasan or Isfahan, Iran, this exquisite object demonstrates the advanced metalwork techniques and cultural significance of Islamic art during the Seljuk period. Measuring approximately 7 by 8 3/4 by 6.5 inches, the leaded brass box is inlaid with silver, gold, and copper, showcasing a sophisticated interlace pattern and an inscription indicating the box's creation date. The box's functionality is highlighted by its innovative combination lock, consisting of 4 dials that form an 8-number code, a remarkable feature for its time, illustrating the historical sophistication of mechanical engineering. The aesthetic value is further enhanced by the presence of 3 gilded brass figures applied to the box's front, possibly original and meant to symbolize guardianship over the box's contents, diverging from the typical inlaid figure seen in other Iranian metalworks of the era. Though parts of the box are modern reconstructions, its overall craftsmanship and historical context provide a window into the technological advancements and artistic beauty of 12th century Islamic culture, while also serving as a testament to the era's fusion of practicality with ornamental design. The 4 golden hats of the Bronze Age are very unique, very strange artifacts. The long, conical, elaborately decorated hats have been interpreted by some as witches' hats, but that's unlikely to have been their intended purpose. However, that doesn't mean that the people who made them didn't believe that they had magical qualities. The symbols on the sides of the artifacts certainly appear to have either astronomical or agricultural connections, so the people who wore them might have been trusted to make predictions about the weather or the future in general. All 4 of the hats were created somewhere between 3,400 and 2,800 years ago. 3 of them were found in Germany, and the 4th was found in France. It's unlikely that they're the only hats of their kind that were ever made, so it's possible that more will be found by archaeologists in the years to come. The similarities between the objects are so strong that it's reasonable to assume that they served similar purposes, despite being separated by both time and geography. As for what that purpose might have been, though, your guess is as good as ours. The best preserved and best known of the artifacts is now called the Berlin Gold Hat and can be found in the Neues Museum in Germany's capital city. While it's common for archaeologists not to understand everything about their discoveries at first, they usually know at least something. When these strange sculptures with fish-like facial features were found in Serbia in 2019, they had no clue what they were dealing with at all. To be honest, they still don't. The bizarre mini-statues are thought to be around 8,000 years old, and all have unhappy-looking turned-down mouths. They were presumably made by people living close to the banks of the Danube River, where it passes through Lepenski Vir, but we have no idea who those people were. Very little is known about this period of Serbian history other than the fact that the first occupants of the land arrived around 12,000 years ago and were probably migrating farmers from the Near East. Some archaeologists have taken to calling Lepenski Vir Europe's first city because of the size of the ancient settlement that once existed here. The sculptures might be representations of river gods, although some experts think their sad expressions might make them more likely to be symbolic representations of lost loved ones. They're definitely more than a little haunting to look at. Ancient astronaut theory is something you either believe in or you don't. Either you're intrigued by the idea that visitors from either outer space or the future came to see our ancient ancestors thousands of years ago, or you find the whole concept ridiculous. If you're inclined to believe in it, though, you'll probably point to things like the cave paintings of Tassili in Algiers in the Algerian part of the Sahara Desert as evidence. The paintings are incredibly detailed, undeniably ancient, and appear to show humanoid creatures wearing suits, gloves, and helmets of the kind that astronauts still wear today. The paintings are at least 10,000 years old, but might go back as far as 15,000 years. Everything else painted in the caves, from animals to mountains and rivers, appear to be drawn from things that the artist would have seen in their everyday lives. If all they painted was the things around them, where did they get the inspiration for these astronaut figures from? Whether or not you're willing to consider them as evidence of alien visitation of Earth in the past, you have to concede that they're fascinating, unexplained pieces of cave art. Archaeologists and historians are sometimes prone to hyperbole about the things they find, but we don't think it's an exaggeration to call the Guennol Lioness one of the ancient world's greatest works of art. It's also one of the oldest sculptures ever discovered in ancient Mesopotamia. Experts believe that it was carved around 5,000 years ago by an elite-level Elamite artisan. Sadly, we'll never know the name of the artist who created this unique blend of human and animal features, but we do know that the style is consistent with the advanced levels of engineering and knowledge possessed by the people of Mesopotamia at the time. They'd already developed a written language, invented the wheel, and started building the world's first large-scale cities. It's thought that the lioness statue represents a cultural belief of the Elamite people, a belief that power over the physical realm could be attained by combining the attributes of humans and animals together. Such is its beauty and rarity that despite being made from limestone, a relatively worthless material, and standing just 3 inches tall, it was sold to a private collector for $57 million in 2007. There are too many incredible archaeological ruins in Peru to count, but we'll reserve special mention for the tombs of Sipan in Lambayeque. It's not just the fact that the tomb is in astonishingly unspoiled condition that makes it noteworthy, but also the story of its discovery. It was found in 1987 by a team of criminal tomb raiders, but they fell out so badly about how their treasure discovery would be split between them that the police were called, and the robbers were arrested before they even had a chance to enter the tomb. Instead, archaeologist Walter Alva was summoned to excavate the tomb, and he found the discovery of a lifetime waiting for him. At the tomb gates, he found the skeletal remains of a large man sitting in a chair with his feet cut off. Later examinations suggested that this was a security guard positioned to guard the tomb's occupant in the afterlife. His feet had been removed to stop him from deserting his post. Beyond the gates lay the final resting place of the Lord of Sipan, buried 1,700 years ago and surrounded by gold and jewelry worth millions of dollars. Only the discovery of Tutankhamun topped this as an archaeological find in the 20th century. Scotland's Orkney Islands have been inhabited by humans for thousands of years, and some of its most ancient occupants were responsible for creating the Ring of Brodgar. We don't know who those people were because we don't know how old the Ring of Brodgar is. It's likely, but not certain, that it was created between 4,000 and 4,500 years ago. Another megalithic site called the Stones of Stennis is situated nearby, and the two sites might be linked. The purpose of the Ring of Brodgar is unknown. Historians say that it probably served a ritual purpose, but historians often say that when they don't have any better ideas. There were once 60 standing stones here, but some have been stolen and others have fallen over, leaving only 27 still standing today. You'd expect a site like this to have been thoroughly investigated by archaeologists, but very few digs have ever been carried out here. That's partially down to the fact they're in such a remote location. One of the stone features a cross carving and the name Bjorn, but it's likely that this was added by a bored Viking thousands of years after the stone was placed here. In Lalibela, Ethiopia, you'll find a series of churches that look like no other churches on the face of the planet. Most of them are carved out of one single solid piece of rock, and some of them are underground. The most impressive of all of them is Beit Girogis, or, give it its English name, the Church of St. George. The vast temple was cut directly into the ground and finished from the inside out, and seems to be the focal point of the 11 churches that exist in the area. All of them are connected by tunnels, and were built between the 12th and 13th centuries. How works of such incredible beauty were created using the tools and methods known to be available at the time is a mystery. From the surface, the roof of the Church of St. George has the appearance of a Greek cross, but the full building extends 130 feet down into the darkness, almost out of sight. Although strange to our eyes, the church is completely in keeping with its surroundings. There is no electricity in Lalibela, and there aren't even any roads. Here, time hasn't passed at all for centuries. The Olmec hieroglyphs and glyphs associated with the Olmec civilization, known as the earliest significant Mesoamerican culture, flourishing between 1500 to 400 BCE. There is no scholarly consensus regarding whether these glyphs constitute an actual language system or represent a form of proto-writing. The discovery that has garnered considerable interest is the Cascachal block, found to contain 62 unique characters, suggesting a form of writing distinct from other Mesoamerican scripts like Mayan or Isthmian. Dated to around 900 BCE. If authenticated, This block could represent the oldest form of writing discovered in Mesoamerica, although its symbols show no clear link to later systems, hinting at an isolated or foundational script form. Furthermore, the debate extends to whether earlier Olmec monumental sculptures and potential glyphs on artifacts genuinely represent a form of script or simply artistic iconography. Discoveries like the San Andreas glyphs from around 650 BCE hint at early Olmec attempts at writing, particularly with the identification of symbols resembling later Mesoamerican scripts. However, the interpretation and classification of these symbols remain contentious among scholars. The evolving understanding of these symbols, alongside later Epi-Olmec Isthmian script developments, contributes to an ongoing debate regarding the origins and nature of writing systems in ancient Mesoamerica. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and enjoy watching new videos on my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you soon!